Welcome back to the class, everyone. Today we are going to be jumping back into 5v5 Grand Arena. This is the first match of the entire season, and we didn't really do too hot last 3v3. I mean, there were some outside factors like COVID and cheaters and whatnot, but we fell quite a bit within Kyber 1, so we're going to have a little bit maybe of different matchups here. I'm not sure how much Datacrons are still going to kind of throw a wrench into that. But that being said, let's go ahead and look at our current opponent's account to see how they're doing. Looks like a little bit of difficulties there, and there we go. So this is going to be our first opponent here. His name is going to be Maz. That was his decision, not ours. And there is no relic difference between our two accounts. Like, he has 12 more relic levels. That is astonishing. So, you know, props to this player for making this high, and also kind of shame on us for dropping low. We're out of our average 200, and that, you know, that is what it is. But we had the material advantage on this guy. It doesn't, or at least it wasn't happening very often. But now look at this. So for the real area we haven't beaten mods. Like, we have 200 more plus 10s, about 150 more plus 15s, 50 more plus 20s, and then, you know, 30 more plus 25. So that is a significant difference, and I think that's going to be something we're going to be able to see in the battles. Hopefully he doesn't have too many plus 25% turn meters from that set too. That wasn't oh so kind to us. That being said, as far as Omicrons, we're pretty much equal. He doesn't have Iden, but he has one of Malgus's other ones, and those are all pretty good. Our relic levels are the same. Mods we haven't beat. He does have Galactic Legend Ray. We are very close to getting her, but we're not quite there yet. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump back into the actual match here. I don't believe he started attacking. He didn't. From what I saw, he didn't typically attack very early, so that's probably isn't something we're going to be able to see until the very end of the video. My defense, I am lost as to what I'm doing on defense. I need to get something going together, but right now, I always have done the trap method of, you know, put pretty good teams in the front to draw out the best teams so that when they get to the back, they can't clear. And I had so many people, and this opponent kind of did it too, that they have a typical defense of, okay, I'm going to set 3 jails on defense, I'm going to take 3 jails on offense, or something to that extent. And then they get these level 9 Datacrons on JMK or JML or Ray or C or whoever, and they keep the same defense, except for they just throw that Galactic Legend on defense as well. And you get these people who are not only putting 4 or 5 Galactic Legends on defense, but it's 4 or 5 Galactic Legends with level 9 Datacrons. So I'm lost as to what I'm doing. And also, it feels a lot harder to scout than it used to be. So I only have 1 Galactic Legend on defense. I'm going pretty light here. I'm trying to take more for ground, and I sitting here almost thinking that I should have taken more, just because I should be banking on winning with fleets. So this is, I mean, this pretty much sums up my defense. It's really not that strong, and I still don't know if we have enough to beat everything that he put down. So we're gonna have to make some pretty good trades. My fleet defense is pretty much the same as normal. Hopefully we can start making some bets on that. But yeah, his defense is gnarly. He's got Malgus here. The Datacron's kind of whatever. It's only level 3. Those don't really matter, at least for this set. He's got JMK with a level 7 Datacron. Is this a Stunacron? I haven't even checked yet. Yeah, it is a Stunacron, so that's going to be fun. He's got SLKR. This probably doesn't matter either. He's got JML, and then he's got a really, really spanking good JML one that I just can't. I don't think I can beat it with anything outside of JMK. This one is going to be very, very challenging. So I do have JMK for offense, so that's something, but I don't know if I can beat all 4 of those teams and then go up here and beat his level 9 Rain. Like, these other teams aren't bad either. The Bounty Hunter team is questionable. But CLS with the level 6 Datacron for himself, as well as Gas, this is going to be rough. This is going to be rough. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it. All right, here we go. So first off, we're going to be starting off with all the GLs, of course, and I want to take down, or make sure we can take down, their JMK first. Unfortunately, he's the exact same speed as my Jedi Master Luke, so we have to deal with going second because we lost the coin flip. We do go ahead and increase cooldowns on Jedi Master Kenobi just to kind of slow him down. I want Kat to actually burn her ult, so my Jedi Master Luke is the one who takes it, and she doesn't actually get to snipe Jolie. We do have the repost Datacron here, so that is going to be very, very helpful. As you can see, we get really, really, really close to getting GK into the Savior. Don't quite get it, and now they already have ult. This is not looking very good for us, so I'm trying to recover here. I'm like, okay, let's just just keep swimming here. We get GK to proc the ult with Jedi Knight Luke. I didn't take him in because the stun Akron, it's a lot harder to take down Jedi Knight Luke. Also, Jedi Knight Luke's stun is really good against this team. Also, lowering their max health doesn't hurt at all. So we're able to get in and kill GK, and by here, I'm like, okay, this is probably going okay. We just need to see if we can kill Cat, and then this should just be a win. So that we're doing pretty well here. I do have just about ult with Jedi Master Luke, and I'm debating here. I'm like, okay, do we want to increase Cat's cooldowns? Do we want to just go right into ult and use that to boost ourselves? And I think we eventually just end up going with ult because oh yeah, I realized that their JMK doesn't have ult, so she's gonna have to hit JML and they can't stun anyone. That's what it was. So we went in and procced our ult. I'm like, all right, so Cat still has to die. That's still the name of the game here. So we keep calling in the characters that have reposts. That way they are actually getting to hit under protection. We kill Cat here, which is super cool. We do make sure to get protection back on a Jedi Master Luke so that they can't ignore taunt, and then they proc ult, so that was kind of worthless. And I think, yeah, I actually don't think of something for another battle, but like I said, once Cat's dead, we're not like totally in the clear, but it's going to be really hard to lose from here. So again, we keep controlling JMK. I really do need to get Jolie to revive our Cam, really just for the banners. I mean, we could win this without him if we really needed to. So we do eventually get Cam back, and now, I mean, Jedi Master Kudo was just dead. Hit him for 200k, that was pretty good. That's a lot of that's the R9 on my Jedi Master Luke. So now we have to do the opposite. We have to use our own JMK versus his Jedi Master Luke, and this was tricky because he has a really good JML cron, and I'm thinking here, I'm like, all right, so we can aim for someone, we can stun them in the very beginning. Let's hit Shock, she's probably the fastest. Make sure we keep repost off of Jedi Knight Luke, and then just try to keep the team stunned because they can't call each other to assist and hit under protection if they're constantly stunned. So I just go for a basic there with Padme. We only had one debuff, didn't really need to cleanse it. They do start to go after Cat, so that's worrisome. I'm like, okay, let's just go ahead and call in Ahsoka. That way we make sure he doesn't have repost. And we hold our ult until now. We hold Cat's big hit. That way that I can use 50% here. We can now not only ignore taunt, but also strip the stun that Jedi Luke had just put on us. So that was pretty good timing. Keep using specials. Annihilate Jedi Luke so we don't have to deal with him anymore. And then just keep going to town on everyone else. So we got rid of Jedi Luke, got rid of the other ones, and like I said, but from here, they're pretty much done. And I don't know if I would typically do this, but because of the whole repost thing, I make sure to kill Hoda. Now they can't call each other to assist, and they just can't get anywhere. So we're probably looking at a full banner win here, just because of how this is going to function. I mean, we could probably even put it on auto. I think I did. I kept looking into things and like, oh, what gives protection back? But I think I'm already there, to be honest. I don't think we were really in danger of that. So yeah, pretty much as long as we were able to go first and keep the whole team stunned, this would have been a little bit of a different story if their jammer was fast enough to ability block everyone right off the gate. Actually, I might have done something different had that been the case. Oh, and now we get to do this sketch fest. So we take in C Armor versus SLKR, and I've done this before, but I've always been able to test an arena like, okay, SLKR with this much offense and crit damage always brings this tank into the right amount of health. As you can see, that didn't happen. It only happens until here. So that was really, really sketchy. The fact that Hux swapped over to SLKR, and then SLKR's next hit brought set low enough, and now we can't lose. This battle is very, I mean, it's 1 or 100. You either get the crit avoidance, not the crit avoidance, the crit immunity, and you win, or you don't get it and you just hard lose. There's no coming back from it. So we got it, so we're gonna win. Even with, you know, I think he has a health steal datacron. He's R8, we're R7. None of that matters. They can't crit us. They can't do anything. I did make sure to mark Sith Trooper just to make sure he didn't do as much damage as the rest. This actually kind of worked out pretty cool. The crew survived, so that means that we get another link here. I don't think it really, like, again, we wouldn't have lost had we not done that, but now we're able to go ahead and get SLKR down. I might have actually just put this on auto. I think I did. Yeah, I'm not seeing any buttons. Just because SLKR is going to die. Health steal is great, but Shock doesn't care. Ooh, this is fun. So, trying to figure out something to take down Malgus. I don't want to use a GL because I need them elsewhere. So we go ahead and use this weird Qui-Gon Jinn team, and this isn't my typical team, but I needed to build a team that was at least R5 to be able to use the TM datacron to be able to get ahead. So we go ahead, we do all of our stuff. Mace is now taunting, and don't do what I'm about to do. Do not use the AoE here, not just because you need to save it for when Qui-Gon Jinn dies, but because Darth Revan's next move is going to be his ferocity, and when he uses that, the whole team is back up to 100% health, which means the AoE was worthless. Not even 100% health, but 100% health and protection. So now, not looking good. Like, the AI is doing AI things and not hitting Qui-Gon Jinn, which is really good because you can't see right now, but my Qui-Gon has, like, offense down and crit damage down, no foresight. Like, he's not going to hit hard at all if Qui-Gon Jinn bites it right now. We drop all the debuffs in time, and now the bonus damage we get from Qui-Gon's death lasts for 2 turns, and that enables us to wipe out not only Darth Revan, but also Bastila. So we're not going to win here, but I came into this battle really wanting to just kill the 2 of them. I mean, you know, it would have been great to kill Malak or whatever, but I'll take that. Like, that's good. Now we can come in with this Traya team, and if we do it in a specific way, we can kill everyone here. So Traya is gear 12. She's not very good as far as gear goes, but at the end of the day, Nihilus's Annihilate is impartial. It doesn't care what relic you are, how much health you are. I guess it cares if you're a Galactic Legend. But for the most part, we should just be fine here. I did make sure to bring in GBA just because I'm fairly certain Scion can't tank Malgus's big hit, and that's very likely going to happen. So we have the double tank, and in fact, the Brute can't even tank Malgus's big hit, but he doesn't need to because he can just revive and we're all fine and everything's good. And to bring in Gideon, I got a little bit of pushback in stream for doing that, and I kind of get what they were getting at. Most of the damage on this enemy team doesn't really care about crit damage or offense, at least at this point. Both Malak and Malgus's big hits are based on max health, whether it be the users or the other characters, and Marauder also doesn't do a lot of damage here without Ferocity and without Basilishan's debuff, so I still, like, I didn't have a better option for 5th, so I don't regret taking Gideon in. But as you can see here, like, it starts to get a little bit sketchy. We do make sure to never use Gideon's turn meter reduction, because if we use Gideon's turn meter reduction, they don't lose turn meter, and we do, and you just hold yourself back pretty far. We do keep increasing Malagus's cooldowns. I want his big hit to be as high on cooldown as possible. Really don't like that at all. We do armor shred a few characters for fun. Probably should have saved them in some way. I'm not quite sure. And now here, this is where things start to get even more choppy. So I don't know if you guys noticed it, but earlier, Nihilus got feared because when he chose to put a random dot on an enemy character, it ended up being Malak. And when that happens, it puts fear on Nihilus, and you don't get as close to your Annihilate as you need to be. So we actually have to be really careful here. We can't kill Marauder now, because if we kill Marauder, then the only character that Nihilus can put a dot on is Malak, and if he's doing that every single time, he's going to be perma-feared and never get a chance to annihilate him. Which, with the team we're using, we have no shot at killing Malak unless we annihilate him. So this is a very complicated and nuanced counter, but it works. You just have to be aware of these very random specific things. And like, we do make sure to put a bunch of armor shred on Marauder. That way when we do get the ultimate, like right now, hopefully Marauder should be easier to kill. I believe the Datacron had something to do with recovery on it. Like every time they do something, something happens. But also like the Malgus lead, giving you health and protection back every single time you get a debuff, is not good. So we end up timing out here, and this is awkward, but I mean, we got what we came for. We killed Malgus, we killed Malak, that's all that really mattered, and then Scavary did that. So now we actually were able to budget our roster in a way that we actually have a Galactic Legend for Rey. The issue is this Rey is the really good Datacron Rey. This is the super damage ult. She's also R9. And on top of that, she also has the really good level 6 where they're constantly giving each other turn meter. So they just get way more turns than we do in here. We don't get remotely close to getting our ult by the time she gets her first ult. Like, I think it's like 27% right now. That's not good. We can't even do like the irresponsible 1 turn ult or whatever. So she gets her ult, kills everyone but SLKR, and now the entire team gets 2 turns after that happens. Maybe 3, I don't know, but we lost, and that's pretty much the match right there. And I'll talk about that more towards the end of the video. I need to change my strategy, because one of the things that I've noticed about what people are doing with their defense, at least in my area, is they're always setting the Galactic Legends they always set on defense. For example, Rey and JMK, maybe Lord Vader, whatever. And then in addition to those Galactic Legends, they're also putting down whatever Galactic Legend randomly they have with a level 9 DC, which is what happened here. He put down JML. Like, nobody put down JML before DC, so it's making defenses a lot harder, and I'm still trying to make the backdoor work, and I'm really just... I'm hurting myself. But anyway, so we're doing this General Grievous vs. CLS fight. This one is very straightforward. Make sure you land target lock on all the characters, then hit the characters to do it off target lock with every character except B1, because B1 will always hit all the characters anyways, and he can apply a new target lock. Chewbacca is obviously first priority. Second priority, I think I think the ideal actually might have been Han, but we went for Nubaka. It worked fine. We didn't lose a character. They did shoot Nute, that was helpful. So for Bounty Hunters, we're just going to mirror here. We're just barely faster. I do go ahead and take in our Boss Lead just because I know that we can get contract fast, and Boss Lead is really, as long as you have a way to get contract really quickly, he's ideal. So I know we're going to win here. We've got contract. They're not going to have a good shot at our biggest character. So even if Boss goes, nothing's going to happen. That being said, I want to minimize our banner, or really maximize our banners here. So what I did was we took out Django because I don't want him to steal anything. Thinking back, I probably should have killed Dengar. But then again, maybe having two characters that ignore taunt wasn't a good idea. So, I mean, they get their turns. We cleanse things. That's great. We don't have Frenzy on Bosk now, so we do just go ahead and take away Bosk's defense. And then Fennec just does Fennec things. My gosh, like that hit was stupid. Like, I think that was over 200,000 damage on the basic. Like, she does so much stuff. She hits so hard. Probably didn't need her, but still, it's fun to see. So now we get to go ahead and take in Iden versus their Mon Mothma team. This fight, in 5v5 at least, even at our gear levels, which, you know, gear 12s versus relics, it's not that bad. Biggs does complicate things. Like, you can see there was a moment there our Snow Trooper almost ate it. And Biggs' constant turns, they just make everything feel more nervous, at least with Kyle Katarn there, because Biggs is going to let them get turns, and if they get turns and Kyle Katarn gets more turns and gets a good hit on one of our very important characters, then we're probably just dead in the water. That being said, Biggs getting actually all of his bonus turns is feeding us so much turn meter that we're able to consistently increase Mon Mothma's cooldowns, and when we do that, she doesn't get to bring in the ad, which is really, really nice. So we do just try to deathmark Biggs here. Now Biggs doesn't come back. We're done with him. Mon Mothma can revive Kyle Katarn, but, you know, that's fine. He can kill Iden all he wants. It's not going to make a difference. And now we've built up enough offense over time, as the Iden team does, that we should just be able to kill the rest of these guys with very few issues. Also, it does help that Deathmark now is going to stick because we have someone dead. And yeah, so Deathmark does that. Wedge just dies, and Lando doesn't have much of a prayer either. Stormtrooper kills him, which is fun. So we have to beat Phasma with the TIE Fighter Pilot Omicron now. And I won't lie, like, this is a little bit sketchier than I thought it was going to be. Like, look at how much traction they're getting. Like, if they had just gotten one more right move, they would have won. But once Echo takes a turn against this team, they are done. We go right after First Order TIE Pilot just to make sure that his bonuses go away. Because once you kill him, it's unique. It just vanishes. And then we beat the rest of it for max banners, which is pretty cool. So we're not going to beat that Ray back up top. So I'm trying to figure out how we want to tackle both Dash and Gas. And I've used Wampa actually a ton versus Dash in 3v3. And it's always done really well. But yeah, this was a little sketchy. Now, I won't lie. The enemy Vandor is very poorly modded. Like, I think we checked his mods. I think he only had 60k health. Like, this is not a good Vandor. And the reason why I say that is because I don't think this counter is going to be super consistent in 5s. Because this battle goes for a while. I won't spoil the ending here, but yeah, and you'll notice one really key factor about this counter that I've said it multiple times and other times we've done it. You never use the Icebreaker except for when Dash lands Daze, and his Daze is irresistible, so, you know, you can stack your tenacity into 1000%. He's always going to get it, and if he's able to link those Dazes because you're not getting turn meter, and then he can get a bunch more turns, then you just lose. So we have to wait until he Dazes, use the cleanse, and go from there. And there's really no downside to not using it either. Our Wampa is hitting hard enough, and he has enough health steal that even if we were to lose all our bonus protection, we would still be going back up to 100% health. And like I said earlier, this is kind of the issue right now. We're not really able to get back to our... We're not really able to get back to our whatchamacallit here, and they keep having tenacity up, which also isn't great. I need to get a good hit on Vandor. I'm maybe thinking maybe we just use the AoE just for the sake of AoE damage, because L3 is a pretty consistent taunter. Like yeah, so we get like one hit here on Vandor, and I think we actually could have gotten 2 in a row there. So maybe that would have saved us a little bit of time here. That could be considered a misplay. But like I said, we're doing pretty good. We just keep stacking our offense up, trying to hit as hard as possible. AoE's not really cutting it to be able to kill Vandor. I think he's only R3. I do like it when Wampa like counters twice and he gets kills on both hits. That's fun. So yeah, so like I said, we keep just stacking our offense, clearing the days at the right time. They're not going to kill us, but it's a big question of can we kill them? Luckily, we get a hit on Vandor, and he also counters in the same, or we counter in the same turn we kill him, and now, I mean, the whole team's just going to fall apart. It's going to be a very easy cleanup from there. So now we're going to try to take out Gas, and Gas has a new Datacron that actually gives health protection every time they don't have like 3 buffs or something, and that proves to be a major pain in the butt. So we throw in Tuscans to get rid of the cooldowns so we don't get dazed. We throw in Imperial Troopers, and they struggle. They struggle a lot here. Even, like, I'm trying not to use hit directly with Dark because I don't want them just to counter. But yeah, we eventually having to hit with Dark, and then, or with Veers, and they counter on Dark because he has marked, and the whole team just falls apart. And we actually get really, really close on Gas's protection, but how the game is designed is Gas's protection from his allies is added in after the match starts, or when the match starts. So even when he had like down to 10% protection, we come back in to try to knock him down, you know, trigger 5 sacrifice, he's all the way back up to 50% health. So we're just not getting down this team. I mean, this wasn't that big of a deal. At the end of the day, I mean, we weren't getting through Ray, so I don't really know how much that stopped for us. So this ended up being the end of the match, and this is kind of what I was referring to of saying I was going to make comments later on. Datacrons, did they ruin my day? Yes, they did. The Ray Datacron being the super way it was not fun. The Gas one had with the recovery, the JML and JMK constantly changing my counters also wasn't great. But I think I would be remiss or ignorant to not say that my defensive strategy is blowing up in my face, and this isn't the first time. This needs to change. I need to stop using the trap because of the GL thing that I mentioned earlier in the video. Because all that's happening now is this is becoming very consistent. This is like the 3rd time I've done this in the last 2 months. And all my opponents are doing is clearing my first 2 walls for bad banners, whatever. They're clearing ships barely. Like this guy, I think he took, was it 5 attempts? Yeah, 5 attempts to get through our ships, which is, it's fine. And then he's getting to the back, and he doesn't have to do anything with arguably my 2 best teams on defense because I let him. So I need, if anyone has this strategy that my opponent has where they are putting down just a ton of Galactic Legends, Malgus, whatever, I really need to just start front loading these front walls. Lord Vader and Starkiller and back is not helping me at all when my opponent never even needs to clear them. So that's my takeaway from here. It sucks to keep losing. Again, I'm not going to beat the Datacron horse to death. We're just going to leave it at that. But thanks for watching. Hope you guys learned some of the Malgus fight. And as always, stay awesome.